Coming up on the last call, Georgia Southern completes the greatest turnaround in college football this year by winning on a walk-off field goal. See how it happened and hear from the man who turned around a 2-10 team. Plus, the in-state rivalry between Auburn and UAB lived up to the hype in front of a record-breaking crowd in Birmingham. It took overtime for the Tigers to survive. We'll show you how and why Bruce Pearl said one player made all the difference. It's all on the last call, and it starts right now. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. Bowl season is upon us, and man, what a start it was, especially for Georgia Southern. And about an hour up 65 in Birmingham, the top 10 Auburn Tigers went to overtime with in-state rival UAB. Let's run it back. When Georgia Southern hired Chad Lunsford last year, the Eagles were in dire straits. They were coming off a 2-10 year and looked far from a team that would win a bowl game or let alone even make one. But here they are facing Eastern Michigan in Montgomery in the Camellia Bowl last night. The Eagles of EMU break down the wall, but Southern's Shai Wertz was breaking down the defense. Spin move! 26 yards for the first score of the game. Eagles lead 7-0 with 1:52 left in the first. Eastern Michigan evens it up in the second quarter, but Wertz puts his team up again on this 5-yard scamper. Southern led 17-7 at half. Georgia Southern up 6 late in the fourth, but EMU grabs its first lead of the game on this 5-yard touchdown with 3:30 left in the game. Shai Wertz once again keeping Georgia Southern in this one. On 4th and 10, he escapes the pocket and races 29 yards all the way to the 41. The Eagles gain another 18 yards, so Tyler Bass has a chance to win it. The 40-yard field goal is good, his third of the game, and Southern wins the Camellia Bowl 23-21.
It's kind of a microcosm of what Georgia Southern football is about. Off to a fast start, getting the bullseye on our back. We didn't handle that part well, and then being able to understand how to play with the bullseye on our back, and then being able to finish the season. So it's a parallel to what Georgia Southern football is.
The Eagles went from 2-10 to 10-3 under Lunsford. That's the best turnaround in the FBS this year. Number 8, Auburn has beaten in-state rival UAB 3 years in a row, but all 3 of those games were close. The Tigers won each game by 5 points or less, and last night they traveled to Birmingham to face the Blazers. This game is now called the Mike Slive Invitational, named after the late SEC commissioner who passed away from cancer last year. In transition, Bryce Brown, the lob to Malik Dunbar. Tigers lead 9-7. Final minute of the half, Jared Harper from way downtown knocks down the 3. Auburn led 28-27 at the half. Strong start to the second half, though, by UAB. Jalen Perry left open in the corner. Blazers up 3 with 12 minutes to go. Auburn down 7, and Bruce Pearl showing some frustration, fired up about something. He draws a tech. The Tigers respond, though. Jared Harper high off the glass for the layup, and the Auburn Tigers are up by 3. Under 2 to play. Harper driving again, but this time it's the lob to Chuma Okeke. Auburn was up by 6, but Blazers fight their way back. This 3 is no good, but a nice kick out to Jeremiah Bell, who rings in the 3. That ties the game at 63, so we're in overtime. In OT, Jared Harper continued to dominate. Uses the jump stop, high off the rim, and gets it in. Then with a minute to go, he drives another layup. The junior dropped a career-high 31, leading Auburn to a 75-71 win in overtime. Let's stick with Auburn and jump over to the football team. After offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey left for Kansas last week, the Tigers found themselves in need of a new OC, and they found their man shortly before midnight last Sunday. Auburn announced the hiring of Kenny Dillingham, who's coming by way of Memphis to coach the offense and the quarterbacks. The 28-year-old coach signed a 2-year deal with Auburn with an understanding that Gus Malzahn will go back to being the primary play caller on offense. Back on the Georgia side of the bridge, the Crimson Tide have to prepare for the college football playoff, but this past Thursday, head coach Nick Saban stopped by the Fountain City to speak at the 11th annual Sports Visions Football Awards. It's the second time Saban has been the guest speaker at this event, and he spoke to the Valley Ballers about his mantras he teaches in Tuscaloosa. But before he addressed the crowd, he spoke to us about how the Tide will prepare for their college football playoff semifinal against Oklahoma.
It's like a new season. I think it's very difficult to carry the momentum from a game that happened a month ago to the next game. You know, I think it's really important to be able to stay focused on what's in front of you. You know, the next play, the next block, not the scoreboard, not the consequences of winning and losing, but the process of what you have to do to play well against what's going to be probably one of the better players you played against all year.
Of course, Saban is talking about game planning against Heisman Trophy winner Kyler Murray, who beat out his guy in Tua Tagovailoa. Back to the award ceremony, hundreds of people showed up to the event organized by a pair of former Columbus athletes in DJ Jones and Dale Williams. On Thursday, the Valley's best high school football players were honored for their efforts throughout the season, and the coaches also caught some of the spotlight as well.
This was exciting for me, and it's exciting for the kids and good for the community to promote kids and the things they do. Oftentimes we see kids on the television, you know, committing crimes and doing other things, but here it is, we have over 50 kids here doing something positive, so that's good for Columbus.
It's an honor, it's a blessing. It kind of a big achievement thing that we worked so hard all throughout the year and all throughout the summer, just to kind of get a token of that because we didn't get as far as we wanted, and just kind of get paid back for it. Not really paid back, but I really appreciate the opportunity.
For a full list of the award winners, head over to WRBL.com. Staying in Columbus, a pair of Blue Devils put pen to paper this week. Senior cross-country runner Andrew White will head down to the beaches of West Florida to continue his career, and right-handed pitcher Timbo Trawick will keep his talents here in the Valley to play for Greg Appleton and the CSU Cougars.
You know, it's one of those things you don't think about until you get here and you realize how much people are excited about it, how much people talk about it. So because of that, you know, it's such an honor, and I think it's a privilege. This makes something I dreamed about for like 4 years, and so it's an honor and it's a privilege to be here. And
first, I wanted to try to go somewhere far away to get away from home, but after going everywhere, I decided it's the best place to be. Well, he's won a lot in the past, and he's had a lot of players go on past college, and I really like that.
Congrats to both guys. Still to come on The Last Call, it was a busy week for high school basketball. The Marion County girls avenged a state title loss. The Harris County girls won Athletes of the Week, and both teams from Central hosted Hardaway yesterday. That's all coming up after the break. Last year, the Marion County girls basketball team made it all the way to the 1A championship game, but lost to Greenville. This week, the Eagles got their revenge by beating the Patriots 71-70.
Of course, you know, you want to get the redo, and, you know, last night was a good start to, you know, establishing where we might be.
Where Marion County might be is where they were last year, playing for a state title.
There's always been a lot of pressure, and we've always made history every year. So every year you fall short, but this year we're taking it all the way.
Last night, Marion County did not fall short against the team that stopped them from going all the way last year. The Eagles beat Greenville 71-70, avenging last year's loss in the state championship.
I probably cried more than I ever have in my whole life in that one day, and it just builds you as a character. So I failed a lot. I failed more times than I've succeeded, so I'm prepared for failure, but I'm ready for success, so I'm ready to win a ring.
Ansley and Ashley Whitley, both committed to Virginia Tech for softball, are the anchors of a senior class that has continuously made school history.
They're the ones that have, you know, first year Sweet 16, second year Elite 8, third year playing for the state. They're doing it.
They're doing it alongside a whole nest of talented players.
Well, you can't just keep living in the past. You have to keep pushing forward and just keep having the mindset of I want to be a state champ and I want to get to where they were to where we were last year, so we can get the win.
And to beat a team that beat us last year, it feels great to show them that we're not the same team last year, we're a new team.
One difference is the addition of Taylor Green, who transferred from Taylor County. The junior hit 2 big free throws to put the Eagles up 3 with 10 seconds left, which helped seal the victory.
Everybody wants everybody to succeed. It's just everybody buys it. Everybody's all for it. I feel like I've known them forever. It's really easy to be around them, and I love them a lot.
Reporting on your side, Justin Holbrook, News 3 Sports. Another girls basketball team playing well are the Harris County girls, and they were good enough to win our Athletes of the Week award.
Well, the Harris County girls basketball team, led by veteran coach Stephanie Ramsey, has played solid basketball for the past several years now. The team lost a few stars from last year's squad, including 6'5" center Jessica Carter, but they've managed to put together a 7-1 record.
Playing without a real true point guard, but I think we're gelling and playing together, and they're doing everything that I asked them to do at the moment, so hopefully we could just continue that.
And several team leaders returned to this year's squad, including senior Taziah Fanning, Najee Edwards, and Jessica Carter's little sister, Naja Carter.
I think overall now, since we had a pretty young team last year, we just come together now with all the talent and we just use it.
I feel as if we're playing team ball. We have to get back into it, but we're 7-1, and I think we're doing very great.
It's a process, and we trust the process day in and day out, and as long as we keep working and being all in to the game, we'll keep getting better.
Now, these young ladies made it to the Final Four of the state tournament last season, and they also made it to the Final Four of the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, a tournament they plan on returning to this season.
It's a great opportunity to play some top competition, give us a good run before we really kick into our region.
And so as we gather together to present some hardware, we say congratulations to the Harris County Lady Tigers basketball team, our Cody Road Trophies and Jewelers Prep Zone Athletes of the Week. At Harris County High School, I'm Carlos Williams for News 3 Sports, on your side.
More basketball. Central beat 1A Lynette a couple nights ago, and the Devils were back at it on Saturday hosting Hardaway. This one was out of hand in the fourth. Central up by 28. Tremaine Porter gets the board to Tremaine Brown for the throwdown. The Hawks were down by a lot, but they fought the whole way through. Good take by Dennis Moore with the scoop and score. Porter here with the head fake and the take. Easy layup, and the Red Devils lead by 25 with 2 minutes left. At the other end, Brown going to smack it with force away, and we're off. Xavier Carnes with a nice spin pass to Devontae Matthew. Central wins this one 80-53. Earlier in the day, the 5-3 Central girls were going for their 5th straight win. Devils taking on 5-2 Hardaway, trying to dance their way out of there with a win. Janiyah Gary with the take. Got it. The Hawks trail 3-2 early on. Central on the fast break. Gigi Mendez with the fake pass gives her an open look. 9-2 Red Devils. Then Morgan Ficklin on the outlet to Aaron Johnson, who finds Jasmine Burtz for the layup. Good ball movement there. Then Johnson steals Hardaway's lunch money and buys a bucket with it. Red Devils led 19-8 there and win big, 49-22. We're still serving on the last call, and next, Jordan Hill from the Opelika Auburn News joins me to discuss high school football in East Alabama. All right, welcome back to Last Call. Right now we've got Ask the Expert, and the expert this week is Jordan Hill. He's a prep writer for the Opelika Auburn News. The biggest story, obviously, Central last week winning a state title. This team, what made them so special and able to finally get over that semifinal hunch and get their first title in 25 years?
You know, it was crazy, Justin. They had so many talented teams, the last few years with Coach DuBose, and it was just a matter of just knowing that this was their moment, that they could take advantage. They had a defense that was just outstanding from, the front with the defensive line all the way back to the safeties with guys like Ray Thornton. I mean, they just knew how to finish. They got in some real tough situations, which any team is going to be in if they want to make a run at a state championship. I mean, that semifinals, you talked about the fact they had to get over the hump.
Right.
And the fact that, they got down, and it did not look good. They were down 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, but, DuBose has talked about this since then, that, he had guys coming to him saying, we got this. I don't think there's ever been a question on the talent over there. Guys like Peter Parrish, who's going to go to LSU. Guys like Monte Spivey, who's going to Arkansas. They had the talent, but it was just a matter of understanding the moment and being able to execute. And I think execute is probably the proper word, considering how they played against Thompson.
You could say dismantle, throttle, whatever you want. 52-7. I don't know if we've ever seen a state championship game like that.
Class 7A hasn't been around for very long over there in Alabama, but they pretty much rewrote the record book as far as the Class 7A state title game. I mean, winning by 45. For a long time, it looked like they were going to pitch a shutout.
It did.
And it kind of happened later.
Well, in 2 of their playoff games, they did have a shutout. And then this game, for all intents and purposes, it was. And in the third quarter, the defense had 4 turnovers, and 2 of them were returned for touchdowns. I've never heard a stat like that, let alone in a state title game. So we'll go ahead and move on because that was impressive enough. A team that we thought might play them in the semifinal, Auburn, they fell just short against Lee. What did you see from the team that you liked this year, and did they meet expectations or supersede them?
I think that they met expectations. I think people thought that maybe they could go another round. I think the loss to Lee was kind of a surprise, particularly because you know, they are in the same region and they had played, and Auburn won it. But it was a close game.
And that was in Montgomery too.
Yeah, 21-17. But you know, the thing that really impressed me throughout the year, kind of going back to Central as well, Auburn's defense. I mean, they were stout. Guys like Mahmoud Diabate, Amari Porter back there at defensive back, Callie Chiswick, another guy. They had so many great defensive players, and really when it came down to the postseason, really the question was, could the offense come through? And you know, they did enough for the most part in the regular season to not have to worry about that. The only slip up was against Central, and it was a game that kind of got away from them in the fourth quarter. I think people were really expecting it to be a semifinal rematch between Central and Auburn. Wasn't the case. But I think that, you know, they have a lot of things to really be happy about. You know, I think everybody knew that Central was going to be the class of that region this year.
Sure.
They gave them a run for their money.
They did. Yeah, it was a good game.
And yeah, I mean, a lot to be happy about. Offense just wasn't quite where they needed to be to maybe make that run. Right. But man, that defense was definitely fun to watch this year.
And one team that we didn't even know if they were going to make it in the playoffs, let alone how far they did, was Opelika. So what surprised you about this team, the way they started, maybe the challenges that they faced early on, and how that helped them go into the playoffs and make a run?
Absolutely, and I think that the biggest thing, because this was the first year for Eric Speakman, who's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
He was the head coach. You know, you kind of wonder when you're playing, you know, teams like Viger, teams like Central, you know, Wetumpka was another good team that they had to play. You know, those were state championship caliber teams.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was understandable that Opelika, you know, they fought with most of those guys down to the wire.
Same with Auburn.
Yeah, and even beat Viger, if I'm recalling correctly. Yep. And, you know, I think early in the year, especially when they were playing those tough games, you kind of wondered if the kids would get down and be like, oh, well, our season's lost. And, you know, I think kudos to Coach Speakman and all those guys for the fact that their players never gave up. Yeah. You never saw one, you know, ounce of quit or doubt or anything like that. And, you know, it's so hard in high school football to look at the records and decide, well, they lost this many games, so they were not a good team. I think Opelika is a great case of looking at it and say that you can't look at the records, because I thought, especially in Coach Speakman's first year as head coach, that they accomplished a lot. They went to battle with some of the best in the whole state, and they came away with a few wins in the process.
Central got done this year. We'll see what happens next year.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll have you on for basketball too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Picks of the Week. As you can see, everybody's gone. It's just me and you again, Jack.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. So let's try and start with the Saints, who are playing the Steelers, coming off a big game win over the Patriots.
Well, the Falcons are out of the playoff race, which means it's that time of year where I switch over to my second team. That would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they go into the Superdome and wreck the Saints' home field playoff chances.
Convenient that you get two teams. I can't pick.
I'm a
Bengals fan, so I can't pick the Steelers.
And I can't pick the Saints.
So fair enough. So we'll swap. I'll take the Saints, and you're taking the Steelers. All right, let's go stick with football, but in college. Bowl season is still here. Where are you going?
Well, I am going to a little place called Athens, Ohio.
I love that place.
You might be familiar with that place.
It's magical.
I am taking Ohio. Simply the fact that he told me that Ohio was playing this week, and I didn't do any research on it.
I like the honesty there. I really do. And so the Bobcats are going from Athens to Frisco. So the Bobcats feeling frisky in Frisco.
I like it.
I'm taking Frank Solich and the boys. And finally, we've got our personal pick. What are you doing?
I am going over to the ice rink. Atlanta United's won a title. The Falcons are out of the playoff race. The Hawks are taking for Zion. And, I can't think of anything else. So let's just go with the Predators. It's about that time for me. They're going to face off with the Senators in Ottawa. I think they get the 3 points.
It's almost that time where we start picking hockey again, isn't it?
Well, at least for me.
And I'm going back to action, but I'm going from football to basketball. Never thought I would say this, but I'm picking a MAC team to beat Syracuse.
You're doing what now?
Number 14, Buffalo.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Is playing number 25, Syracuse. I don't know how those roles swapped, but the Bulls have a very good team, could make a deep tournament run, and I like them to beat the Orangemen.
That's a really classic pick. Buffalo was good last year, and they look dang near unstoppable this year.
I don't like them because they beat Ohio, too, every single year in the MAC tournament.
Well, guess what? Spoiler alert, they're probably going to do it voting against your team.
I think you're probably right. All right, you've got Connor's picks. Where's he doing?
He's picking those Saints. I don't know why. He probably doesn't care at this point. He is taking Hawaii and Hawaii Bowl over Louisiana Tech, and he is taking the Falcons over the Panthers on the road because we're Atlanta sports fans. We don't know when to give up.
He will die on the hill of NASCAR and picking Atlanta sports.
And Georgia Southern.
Well, I mean, that was a good pick. They won on a game-winning field goal. That was.
Falcons won today too, so.
I mean, you just saw it in the show. That was a pretty exciting game. And that coach, Chad Lunsford, has really turned that program around. In my opinion, coach of the year. All right, we're going to go to Rex. He's going to finish it off taking the Saints over the Steelers, so you're the only one with Pittsburgh. We've also got Rex taking my Ohio Bobcats, so I appreciate the support, guys. We'll see what happens. They haven't won a bowl game since the Idaho Potato Bowl in 2011. And finally, he's taking Northern Illinois over UAB.
A lot of action here. And by the way, I was the only person to pick the Steelers over the Patriots today. So.
Yeah, we get it. All right, we'll be right back after this. That song was released in 2002 and was still younger than the last time an Atlanta sports team won a championship. That was back in '95. And of course, that changed when Atlanta United won the MLS Cup last week. All right, that's it for the last call. Thanks so much for watching. Same time next week.